Summer Wars is an acclaimed anime movie taking its place within Mamoru Hosoda's filmography, which also contains other renowned titles such as Wolf Children, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, The Boy and the Beast, and other anime films. It's set within a world which parallels our own with the exception of how they use the internet. It's become this enormous hub which everyone uses to socialize, do business, shop, and play games. Imagine if our internet service were replaced with some sort of sandbox MMORPG, and instead of companies building websites, they would just create a building and you'd have a basic understanding of what Oz is. When you consider that Oz is this massive program with tremendous versatility and that nearly everyone in the world uses it for their daily lives and to control practically everything in the world, you would assume that Oz would hire the most elite computer programmers in the world, as security would naturally be something that would be extremely important to them. Nah, meet Kenji and Takashi, two 17-year-old boys who run maintenance for Oz, who were surprised by a random invitation to join Natsuki on her trip to the country for her great-grandmother's birthday. It's here we're introduced to a larger-than-life family with a samurai lineage, who are easily the life of the show, especially when it comes to the outspoken and sometimes hot-tempered Sakai at the head of the family.
Yeah, so we're going out.
Huh?
Going out?
What?
Yeah, Kenji's my fiancé, actually.
What?
Fiance?
Yep, fiancé.
The plot begins to pick up its pace when Kenji is sent a 2,000-bit encrypted message which compels him to stay up all night cracking this code with paper and pen, and then replying the message, which ultimately leads to his account on Oz being stolen. Now this is where I'd normally insert a few jokes about how Kenji dropped the ball, because let's face it, he messed up big time, but actually, when watching this movie for my second time around, I got the impression that he had some sort of cognitive disability. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of my findings. For one, he's practically socially inept, and despite the fact that he is the leading protagonist, he has practically the same amount of lines as some of the side characters, and whenever Kenji is speaking, he's usually the only awkward one in the room.
Hey, let me use your computer!
That was really rude, so this time how about you try asking me nicely?
Additionally, he's capable of instantly calculating what day of the week any date fell on, while being unable to tell the difference between a middle-aged and elderly woman.
Excuse me, ma'am. I just wanted to wish you the very best. Happy 90th birthday.
However, potential character issues aside, this incident creates an enormous problem which leads to the hacker making a total mess out of Oz. This causes the family to come together, using their ties in order to try and stop this hacker before his reign of terror spills over into the real world.
So how's this gonna fit?
You even sell supercomputers?
My brick and mortar shop is just something I run on the side. Most of my orders come in from government agencies and large schools.
Now honestly, the middle part of the movie is what I found to be the most enjoyable. Its introduction was bogged down with the Oz exposition and character introduction, taking about 20 minutes or so until I felt like the movie began to pop off. However, within the conflict contains the most interesting character interaction, as significant drama occurs within Natsuki's family, which requires them to pull together and solve the problems. Due to spoilers, I won't be saying much about the aforementioned drama other than the story knows how to pull on your heartstrings. Additionally, I found that facing off with the intruder was pretty enjoyable, considering it's set within the beautiful world of Oz, as characters fight, run, and fly around a colorful and creative world that's transforming before our eyes. Enjoyment aside, I found the conclusion to be a bit anticlimactic, honestly, as all of the in-game and real-world implications of this major security breach all lead up to a giant game of koi koi.
Will you declare koi koi?
Koi koi! Koi koi!
Natsuki declares koi koi. Dry 3 bright. Will you koi koi? Tanzaku, will you koi koi? Natsuki has won the hand.
Let's be honest here, how many people actually know what Koi Koi is? I know I don't, and honestly, I really don't care. I know about a few Japanese games, I know about Go, I know about Shogi, haven't really heard much about Koi Koi before, but it's kind of this quirky thing that they tried to add that I felt really didn't work when you consider the fact that so much was riding on the conflict and the intruder to Oz here, and I just thought that Koi Koi was a very anticlimactic ending. It's kind of like if the Die Hard movies would end with a game of Monopoly instead of yippee-ki-yay motherfucker. Nonetheless, I found this movie to be an enjoyable visual spectacle which sets a perfect example of how to use CG in anime. Sparingly and not unless you absolutely have to, but they did a good job of it here, and I really can't complain about that. It had a great soundtrack as well. As for the voice acting, I think they did a pretty good job for the story that's being told, so I would recommend that if you are a fan of dub. Overall, Summer Wars was an enjoyable experience, which works well for kids and teenagers alike, even if they're not into anime, and this could also be a gateway into anime for some, as other Hosoda movies also fall under the same category as being suited for all ages, while also not requiring the audience to already like anime. If you've seen Summer Wars, let me know all about that in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and share the video with a friend. Stay tuned for next time when I review Fate Zero. See you then.